Everyone, welcome to Kallada Academy. In this particular video, we'll be discussing on negotiating with the best deal. So once you have discussed with your influencer with regards to the promotion terms, the next thing that you need to be doing is to negotiate with the best deal that you have to offer in. So again, before getting into the discussion, we should be taking care of that you don't get what you deserve in life, right? So that is like a generalized kind of a pointer. You get what you negotiate. So your negotiation power becomes very much important, and this is not like connected with anything which is specifically for marketing purposes. Negotiation is a separate soft skill which has to be acquired in. Now, having this particular understanding in itself, just see, the first thing that needs to be understood is to be able to walk away. Now, whenever you are getting into influencer marketing, you have to make sure that you are not doing the outreach to only one or two or five different influencers. You have to do a maximum number of outreach campaigns, not campaigns rather, maximum outreaches to the influencers, so that you have many different proposals from your influencers in hand. It shouldn't be that you whenever you have sent across a message and the influencer has quoted a price, you are left with no other option but to accept that specific proposal, right? You should be keeping your options open to negotiate further. Now, having understood with that, the second pointer is to understand the value of each of the option. Now, whenever you are having in 2 to 3 different influencers in hand, you will always be able to understand or calculate the value of each of the options that you are getting in. So, for example, I have I have influencer A as well as influencer B. The influencer A is having 100,000 followers with an engagement rate of 4%, and influencer B is having 80,000 followers with an engagement rate of 6%. So clearly we can find out the influencer B is having a higher engagement rate, but the count of followers is 20,000 down than influencer A. The price which has been quoted by influencer A has been $500. On the other hand, the influencer B is quoted a price of $400. That is there. Now comes to our calculation. Now, if I'm just calculating on of the costing, the pricing that comes along, it is $5 per 1,000 people. So basically, if I'm dividing this 500 with 100, right, then for influencer A, my pricing will come across $5 per 1,000 people that is there. In a similar scenario, if I divide in this $400 divided by 80 out here, then it will be again coming out to $5 per 1,000 people. So in the first parameter, the per dollar rate that is coming in, it is similar, that is $5. Now, if I come back into the second calculation in which I am checking out on the engagements per post, right? So again, if I'm having a 4% engagement rate on 100,000, so that comes down to something like 4,000 engagement per post that I'm able to generate. On the similar scenario, if I'm getting into influencer B on a 6% engagement rate ratio, it will be coming down to 6% of 80,000. So that will be coming across 4,800 engagements per post, right? So that is the kind of engagements which we are able to generate in from influencer B. So it is like close in, it is 4,800 engagement per post, and this is 4,800 engagement, and this one will be 4,000 engagement per post that you are able to find out. Now, if I'm exploring on a little bit on on the inside aspect of per and engagement rate, so this will be giving me something like 0.12 cents or something like 12 cents per engagement. So if I am able to generate something like 4,000 engagement per post, right, and the pricing is something like $500, right? So what happens is that it will be coming down to 12 cents per engagement that I am able to generate in. And here in itself, what will be the costing for me? It is something like 0.08 per engagement that I'm getting in, right? So once I'm calculating on this $400 with this 4,800 engagements which are being generated, right? So obviously here also I can find out that the influencer B is a clear cut winner for me, right? And I should be going in with influencer B, right? But again, understand this is all dependent on the percentage of the engagement rate that we have, found out. If there is a change with this engagement rate that I'm getting in, and it comes down from 6% to something like 3 or 4%, then what happens? There will be a significant drop in this particular number also, right? So at that point of time, perhaps an influencer A will be much more effective than what we can call it as your influencer B. Now, having understood this specific calculation, the third thing that we need to be understanding is to accept great deals without negotiating, right? So once there is information exchange and discussion has started off, and you find out that if there is the influencer has replied in, and the pricing is more or less on a similar kind of scenario, right? And you have cracked a deal, and there is a negotiation which has happened in. So it is always better to accept that specific deal, right, without getting into a chain of negotiations, which what you can call it as, right? It is better that when with one discussion in itself you close the negotiations, and you go ahead with that specific deal that is there. So that's the third pointer that is there. Now, in the fourth option, it is negotiate with your own leverage. Now, this is again a specific thing that you need to be understanding. The first one I have taken in with an upfront payment, and the second, the box that you are seeing in, it is for an affiliate version of the message that we have sent it. Now, if you just check out with the first message that I've added on, it is, hey, thanks for your price details. It is slightly out of my budget range, right? And is there a chance that we could do a promo for $500? I have offers from influencer A as well as influencer B, or something like B as well as C. I can put in the names within my budget range, but I absolutely love your account and and what you are doing in. Right. So again, understand, we have to be keeping the leverage within your control, right? So just see. So if you could do it for $500, I can agree to that right now, and of course I'll be looking to more promotions with you in the near future. Does this work for you? And you want to close in the deal, right? In this kind of a straightforward reply, right? I'm sure the influencer will be if he is not in a kind of a mood to have a chain of negotiations, that person will be accepting this particular deal right away. In the second option, if I'm exploring on with some kind of an affiliate deal, right? So then what kind of a template format of a message that I can share it across? Hey, thanks for your reply. I'm unable to offer you a 50% commission. So if the influencer has offered me across, he is negotiating me with a 50% commission. Once I have proposed something like a 30% commission for this, as it wouldn't be profitable for us, could we do this promotion for 30%? Most influencers we are currently working in are on at the 20% commission, but I absolutely love your account, and this goes in same just with what you can find out here, and you are and what you are doing in, and so would be happy to add you to our maximum 30% commission rate. Does this work for you? If so, I can get that set up for you right now, and of course I'll be looking for more of these kinds of promotions in future, right? So this kind of setup, the right one that you can see in this right box, this is for an affiliate kind of setup that you can share it across, and this is for an upfront payment that you can fill up with. These are all example templates that you are seeing in, and it is like if you are good in negotiating, then you can use in any of the templates or any kind of a reply message that you want to share it across. Now, having understood all these different pointers and keeping it in one setup, we have to be understanding that we should be able to walk away. In the second aspect, we have to understand the value of each of the promotion, right? So again, the calculations you have to be doing in perhaps an engagement rate calculation becomes much more evident for us. The third pointer is accepting great deals without negotiating. So we shouldn't be getting into a multiple different chain of negotiations that I was rather telling you, right? Accept great deals with a little bit of a compromise also if you have to do in close that deal, right? Don't do any kind of a further a chain of negotiations that I call it as. And the fourth one, it is negotiate with your own leverage, right? So that's the thing that we discussed in at the last pointer. Always have your own control into that specific deal that is there, right? So I hope so you got a fair bit of an understanding into the negotiation aspects out here. That's it for this video, and we'll catch up with you in our upcoming videos.